It's Al Cole from CBS Radio, host of the syndicated talk show People of Distinction, cluing you in that in our 21st century, I'll tell you, products and services are sold through video. That's right, so sell it through video at Al Cole Enterprises and SAG 14 Production Company. You got it, and right now you got it too. Enjoy another outstanding audio clip from our international guest list featuring my son, the fantastic Benji Cole, on People of Distinction.
And on the line with us today, we have Barbara W. Teal. We'll be discussing her book, Desperate Search, available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And I will say, Barbara was brought to People of Distinction today by some of the best movers in the business. Ingress Advertising Publishing. If you have a book that you'd like moved, well, move it through Ingress. You can find them at ingressadvertising.com. It is an absolute pleasure to have Barbara here on the line because her book we're focusing on today, Desperate Search, is such an amazing narrative. Now listen, it's going to revolve around a topic that is a difficult one, okay? It's a heavy one to really discuss, but at the end of the day, it's a conversation that needs to be had. It's a fictional narrative, but really, it's an education for all, but specifically has been constructed to bring awareness in young women and parents. It's going to revolve around the concept of human trafficking. And listen, Barbara is the expert on the matter. She's going to be able to articulate all of the nuances in the book much better than I ever could. So without further ado, Barbara, let's jump right in. Desperate Search. Tell us a little bit about your book.
Well, it's about two college girls who are juniors, and they live in this town called Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin, which is a real town. It's a beautiful area on Lake Michigan. They come from upper middle-class families, and they decide to go study at the Sorbonne for a semester. They've never been international. They've never been out of the country, and they're both very sheltered girls, best friends, and they fly to Paris, and they're rooming together in a student residence, and they have separate majors. So during the day, they don't really see each other much, but they usually do everything else together. Mm-hmm. And so one night, they go to bed, and the next morning, the roommate wakes up and sees that her roommate is gone, and she thinks she's just left to go to school early. And so she goes downstairs and is still wondering where she is because they check up on each other all the time, but it's they don't see each other during the day because of their majors. And so she gets back in the evening, and her roommate still isn't there, and she starts getting very worried. So she talks to the house mother, and the house mother says, "Oh, probably she's just out and didn't tell you." Well, she never comes back, and the next morning she's not there. So she's very worried and goes down to talk to the house mother, who says, "We'll get the police involved in this." So she calls an inspector who knows about kidnappings, Inspector Pierre Dubois, and he comes into the scene. And after he goes around checking different areas in Paris and finding out things, he decides that this could be a very serious situation and that it most possibly might be human trafficking, or as they called it back then, it was white slave trade. And it's where young women come into Paris and some of these European cities, and they're very naive, and they go around, they go out to clubs and they meet people and that sort of thing, but they're not real cautious about who they're going out with. And in Paris, and this is true because I used to live in Paris, there's a large immigration group there from North Africa, and the inspector knows that they have been involved in situations like this. So he decides to call the mother of this girl and have her come over, and she goes over there to meet him, and together they go trying to find Melanie, who is the girl who's disappeared. And when he decides that it might be human trafficking, he knows that she will be taken out of the country, and this is the way they do it in Europe. They are taken into northern Africa, never to be seen again. And so he knows he's running out of time. And what they do is fly to Algiers, and where he thinks they might have gone. Mm-hmm. And from there on, they talk to the U.S. ambassador, and they end up trying to find her. So the story ends up going from actually this country to Paris to Algiers and into the Sahara Desert. And then you'll have to read the rest to find out.
It's Al Cole from CBS Radio, host of the syndicated talk show People of Distinction, cluing you in that in our 21st century, I'll tell you, products and services are sold through video. That's right, so sell it through video at Al Cole Enterprises and SAG 14 Production Company. You got it, and look forward to enjoying other outstanding audio clips from our international guest list featuring my son, the fantastic Benji Cole, on People of Distinction.